Welcome to another episode of I Survived It with Swagger Magazine and Media. And this show is designed to just give some hope and inspiration to everyone watching and listening, to keep going, to never give up, in the power of resilience. A lot of people are going through some trying times. So, our hope is to bring guests on that can share their story, share their successes, and, give you guys motivation. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Tiffany Rose Dean. She's come from an entrepreneurial background, but she decided to start a business with minimal money, and that business has grown. And she's seen so much success. So we're going to bring her on, hear her story, and hopefully you guys will be inspired. Welcome, Tiffany.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited for everybody to hear your story. When I read your bio, I was instantly inspired because I am in the hair industry. I'm a cosmetologist, and I understand, when you are an entrepreneur, truly, making money off of your gifts and talents, it can be scary. So I'm excited to get into your story.
Yes.
So
Very
let's just
true.
so let's just start with you giving us a brief intro about who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Tiffany Rose Dean, and I was a celebrity fashion stylist for about 20 years. Well, actually, I'll tell you what I do now, and then I'll go back. So,
Okay.
once again, my name is Tiffany Rose, and I am the CEO and founder of Hollywood Hair Bar, which is the number one all natural hair care brand, Black owned, on the internet, on e
Okay.
commerce. And actually, I started my business with $500,
Wow.
and we are now sitting at a total sales revenue of $50 million within the last 5 years. And I own my business 100% still. And it's been a journey. It's been an amazing experience. But at the same time, the last few years have been treacherous.
Wow.
And I have really been through a lot. And I really
Mhm.
have a triumphant story to tell.
Okay. And I'm excited to get into your story. So before you decided to start your business, what were you doing before then?
Okay, so before I launched Hollywood Hair Bar almost 6 years ago, actually in September, I was a celebrity fashion stylist and a costume designer in the area of TV, film, and entertainment. So I actually started that at the tender age of 18. And I literally went and created an amazing name for myself in that world in Hollywood, California. My mom is a celebrity fashion designer. Her name is Angela Dean. Her company is Deanzine. And she actually is like the matriarch of celebrity fashion design. She's worked with everyone from Madonna, Katy Perry, just all of the names. So I grew up in the world of Hollywood, and I literally was able to become a celebrity fashion stylist and really horn in on being an expert at what people wanted to see, what moved people, what made people purchase things. I created all types of images for all of the artists, that are out there. So I really was able to horn in on what makes someone tick in the
Mhm.
area of fashion, design, styling, imagery. And so I
Mhm.
took all of that, and I was able to take that aspiration that I would build for that artist, for the fans to aspire to be like them. And I took all of that expertise and wrapped it up into a beauty brand. And I launched a beauty brand that, I call myself the Bessie Johnson of beauty, because it's just very bright, very fun,
Mhm.
very not looking like an all natural product, because most all
Mhm.
natural products are dull and gold and brown and
Yeah.
those colors. So
Green.
yeah, green.
Yeah.
So I really came with something bright and vibrant and very. I brought fashion into the beauty whole thing. When you go on our
Mhm.
website and you see our pictures and our just all of our stuff, you can tell it's something special going on here with this brand.
Right.
And I was able to really speak to the consumer. I have an amazing product
Mhm.
that worked. And so that was also the thing that really was amazing. Before I even created, let's say, because I created everything with my business. So
Mhm.
my intellectual properties are throughout my entire business. I didn't hire anyone to create my logo, make my labels. I mean, still to this day, I will make my own labels because it's my intellectual properties and they're
Right.
valuable and it's a part of my brand. So I made my own website. I was my everything girl for the first 15 months of my company. I did my marketing. I did everything. And so we'll get into more of that. But basically in a whole, I took my expertise and I was able to take it into a beauty brand. And that's the reason why it was such a success. So many have tried to duplicate, but
Right.
I really was in the game for years and years and years and years and years and years and years
Mm-hmm.
before I came out with Hollywood Hair Bar 6 years
So,
ago.
so let me ask you a question. I read that your father was an entrepreneur as well.
Yes.
How
Oh my goodness. I was supposed to get to that too. Yes.
how did having two successful parents, how did that influence your career and the way you built your brand?
Excellent question because I talk about this all the time. And basically, my dad was the business side of my
Mm-hmm.
mother's business. Well, of their business together. So I grew up in an entrepreneurial household.
Mm-hmm.
All we did was talk business. So that's another thing that was different about me. I
Mm-hmm.
literally was raised in a boot camp for business. So
Mm-hmm.
from 13 years old, our dinners would consist of sales goals, things like that. Like,
Oh, wow.
okay, this month we need to make $15,000. Tiffany, what are your ideas? At
Mm-hmm.
15 years old, with an
Right.
amazing brand that my mother and father built that was really something major. And I was able to take that and learn and, really, really go through lacing my bootstraps up and taking something from how they say, get it out the mud, that type of
Right.
thing.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, with all the success that your parents had and then what you had as a fashion designer, what made you say, hey, let me leave here, take this $500 and do my own thing? I imagine that was scary, a scary thing to do.
Yes, well, actually, I have been through so much. I was a celebrity fashion stylist,
Okay.
so within that realm, you're sitting on set, you're doing TV, you're doing videos, you're doing concerts, you're doing tours, you're traveling, you're doing all of these things. I have a daughter. She's now
Mm-hmm.
16 years old. At the time, she was 10 when I launched Hollywood Hair Bar. And because she was getting older, I had missed so much when she was younger, and I really wanted to launch a brand. Now, I when I started at 18, started working for different celebrity fashion stylists that were in their 30s. And they were all complaining, I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. That type of thing. So I knew at 18, 19, like, okay, this career is going to last probably till my 30s. And in my
Yeah.
30s, I'm going to have to figure out something else
Right.
and build to something else. So I'd always planned this. And so it was always a brand. I've launched multiple brands prior, different. I had the t-shirt line. I had
Yeah. Yeah.
a handbag line that I designed. I mean, and all of the brands, I had a jewelry line. All of them did well. I got in magazines, Cosmo, the whole nine yards,
Yeah.
Elle magazine, Glamour. But I always continued to be called back to styling because the
Mm-hmm.
world of celebrity styling, is a very higher echelon world. I mean, you don't just tell the star, oh no, I don't want to help you this time, So I
Right.
continued to go back into my field every time I launched another brand.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went into detox teas.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in detox teas. I had a detox tea line, and that did very well. I sold it on Guilt and I sold it on Groupon, and that was like gotta getting my feet wet. And after
Mm-hmm.
that, I said, okay, now it's time to really go into the hair oil because at that time I knew and saw, 2018, what was going on in the area of black hair care and the lace front wigs and how we're
Mm-hmm.
we're taking out our edges and all of
Right.
that. I'm even dealing with an edge problem now. And I'm like, oh my God, I need you like that.
Right.
Like, what? I'm looking in the mirror like, oh no, And I'm being
Right.
honest because, we all go through things. We all get that
Right.
one hairstyle that did something. So it's just something that we all deal with. And I saw the massive need for a good product. The other thing was I looked into the market because I'm a beauty supply girl, which I know you are. We all are. We
Yes.
love the beauty supply. I don't know what it is about the beauty supply, but we love that store. It's like going to the mall, like we'll go
Going
in
for
there.
one thing, you come out with a
Girl,
ton of other things.
a whole black bag full of stuff, right? So because that was always my love, I realized and understood as more I was, looking into products and things like that, and just doing research, that all products that are on the market, especially if they're sold at, drugstore, whatever, they're filled with toxic chemicals, most
Mm-hmm.
of them. And when it comes to black hair care, it's filled with 50% more,
Mm-hmm.
100% more toxic
Mm-hmm.
chemicals, because they
Right.
come after us and our hair care with certain things. So, when you found out about perm and how there's Drano and perm, and,
Mm.
it's just really some horrific things that go on in our category of hair care. And so
Mm-hmm.
it really was a passion of mine to come to my women and bring them good quality products that, one, worked and did
Mm-hmm.
what they said they were going to do, because we all know that most beauty products don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them just are pretty in the packaging, whatever. And if they do work, it might take about 6 months of consistent use to
Mm-hmm.
see some type of result. Skincare products, hair, whatever. So I really was super, super, super passionate about coming with amazing products that worked and that were
Mm-hmm.
not toxic. So when I came about and we launched, I literally went from 0 to 100. Like, I was making $50,000 a month from, like, starting probably the third month. So like the first month I made $10,000. Second month was like 25, and then it kept going from there, because the product was amazing and I was doing engagement shares. So that's another thing that I want to also add, because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs here, and a lot of people talk about their success and they don't talk about the real true pathway that they took.
Right.
And we're in a different day and age now, and this could still work if you entrepreneurs out there can, get your groups together. But I was basically blessed enough to get into engagement groups in 2018. And I basically, the groups have been around for like 10 years. So with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of black owned pages on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram that sold different things, back in the day when they used to sell like um the yoni pearls, or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fake Gucci shoes, or
Yeah.
whatever,
And
all
they're
those little
still doing
pages.
that now.
They still doing that, exactly. But they shut a lot of those pages down. But but back
Yeah.
in the day, there was a
Yeah.
lot of those pages. And
Right.
so we would share content all day long. Basically, I share, you share, and I became a fanatical at it. And we're dealing with pages that had large followings, filled with customers that were used to purchasing on those type of pages, purchasing products that might not be mainstream, because we all know that when something is mainstream, sometimes it loses its whatever,
Right.
its quality, or whatever the case is. So I was able to do that, and it just exploded. And so about 15 months after I started and was doing the engagement shares, now I was doing engagement shares from 5 in the morning
Mm.
to like 10 at night.
Mm.
And I would share them, they would share me every hour. And not only was it
Wow.
shares, I was able to clientele. I had a whole strategy that I came up with. Like, that's why the intellectual properties, like I talk about, are so important if you
That's what
come
I
with
was
your
going to ask
own.
you. I wanted to go
Mhm.
back a little bit because I
Oh
heard
yeah.
you say that, a few times that you researched, you understood the market, and that's important. A lot of people jump out into business without any knowledge of
Yes.
the market. Do people even need or want
Come on.
what it is you're trying to sell? So I love
Hmm.
that you said that. I was going to ask you for some key strategies to
Yes.
see growth in your business and to scale to the point where, a lot of us are stuck working in our business where we just created another job for ourselves.
Hmm.
How did you scale? So the first part of the
Yes.
question is, what strategy did you use to see growth? And then
Okay.
the other part is, how did you scale?
Excellent. Okay. So I was actually just on Earn Your Leisure,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked about this. So I'm so glad that you asked this. So initially, I was able to get my growth through the engagement shares, but it wasn't just engagement shares. It was my strategy that I, created for the engagement shares. So it was also from research and learning from masters online, for free. I went to YouTube University. Let's just be clear. So initially, you want to first have a product that solves a problem. So let's start there. If the product is not solving a problem, do not move forward with that product. If you want to really see massive growth, you have to have a pain point and a solution. That's very much so important, especially with products. Even, skin or whatever product like that. Even if it's a gadget, if it's an
Mm-hmm.
AliExpress play, if it's a drop ship, get a product that solves a problem. I don't know if you guys saw that one product that and I used to do this too. I studied products for years before launching Hollywood Hair Bar. When those products would go viral on the ads on Facebook, and like the whole Amazon thing before people started posting about Amazon products,
Right.
they would be on Facebook. And so a lot of that was consistent of me understanding problem and solution. So that's one thing. Then I was able to get into the psyche of my customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's another very, 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 I mean, it's make or break. It's make or break. You have to get into the psyche of your customer. And it's not just about finding out, because those things matter too. Who your customer is, what her age is, what her whatever. Everybody always
Mm-hmm.
tries to do those fluff things, right? No, that's great, but you need to go deeper and then get
Yes.
into her psyche, right? So the way that I got into the psyche of the Black woman, because I marketed specifically to her. Now my product works for all races, all
Right.
hair types, and all everything. And now we want to focus also, on the crossover. But we already have a lot of different races that purchase and hair types that purchase from us anyways. But when I came to the table, I had a passion for
Mm-hmm.
what I knew was going on at the beauty supplies and, with the products that were specifically for us. I was disheartened. So I came specifically for my women. So
Mm-hmm.
initially I knew exactly, because I am my
Right.
women, right? So I knew exactly where her head was. That's another thing about marketing agencies and things of that sort. You have to go with people that understand your customer.
And
And
Chat GBT. I'm so tired. I'm
come on,
tired.
girl. Exactly. Because they don't, right?
Right.
So I was able to get into her psyche. Now, let me tell you what I did for that. Now, this I feel like was genius. I flooded my content that I was sharing with the other pages. My content would always be Black women with extremely long hair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's something that we don't normally see in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do see it, honey, it's a conversation, it's a
Mm-hmm.
thing. Even if we see a woman walking next to us in the store with long, oh my God, your hair is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's how we are, right?
Right.
So to see that consistently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see that so many times, you said, well, God dang, this must be something, because I'm seeing all these Black women with long hair. Now, on top of
Mm-hmm.
that, it was the caption. I had
Mm-hmm.
the same caption for the whole time. I never changed my caption, which is so funny. But
Really?
I never changed it. It was the same caption. But that was still 2018, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the caption was very extensive. It was first a call to action. A question and then a call to action.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to grow their hair or their daughter's hair?
Mm-hmm.
Comment me below. I also brought your daughter into it. And
Mm-hmm.
normally our products don't do that. They
Yeah.
always talk to the woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most Black women also want their daughters to have long hair. We're
Right.
proud when we can braid a ponytail down, right? So I brought in the child. Then from there, I said, comment me below with the girl with her hand up. That was
Mm-hmm.
the call to action. Comment me below and we'll DM you. Then I went into what was the ingredients in the product, the fact that it was all natural, the fact that it
Mm-hmm.
really worked, all these amazing things that I hit hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. It
Mm-hmm.
literally worked. So what happened was now I was mini chats before mini chats. Like I created that
Mm-hmm.
strategy, right?
Yeah.
I come from the world of, sales. Like I started in retail, which I think most of us have, and 15 years old, 16 years old. So you
Mm-hmm.
know how to sell something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew what to say and all of that stuff. So I knew how to clientele. So what I did
Right.
was I clienteled, and the post would go out. I would have to watch the post,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's post that posted me,
Yeah.
right? And I would go, and every comment, I was mini chats. I would say, check your DM. Then
Mm-hmm.
I went in the DM and I had automated stuff in there. And I would just hit everything. Shipping in 7 to 10 days. This is the result. This is the link. Get yours now. And I would literally clientele with them and sell to them in the DM live and in action. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't sleep for like 15 months. Like, you know, when they
Yeah.
say, if you go hard for 1 year, it could change your life. I'm telling
Hmm.
y'all right now, that's so true. It ain't even funny, right?
And that's a lot of people's problem. They don't want to put their work in.
Yeah, I didn't do anything else for 15 months. Every single
Hmm.
day I worked. And not
Hmm.
only was I doing the drop, we call them drops, which were the engagement shares back and forth, and then also focusing on getting the content to them, right? Then also focusing on every single DM and being on point for that. Also focusing on every single comment to tell them to go into the DM. Then on top of that, I was bottling my products, labeling them, shipping them, doing all the customer service, answering the phone,
Wow.
and I was doing all of that. I am a very special breed. I
Hmm.
come from the entertainment industry. No is not an answer. You know, we know how to go hard. I was raised by the best. My mom and dad don't play. We know how to make miracles. That's just where I come from. So what
Hmm.
I did is not necessarily easy for the average person to just be that driven, that tunnel vision, and that focused. I am a Capricorn. So that's another thing. You know what I mean?
But
So
you
you
know
guys know
what?
that we
It's
special.
2024 now. So they don't even have to, if they just take a day or two, like you said, we have the mini chats. There's so many different
That's what
websites
I'm
and
saying.
automation that's out there. They don't have to do it. It's just a matter of how bad do you want it.
That's how bad do you want it, and how good is your product, and how great is your
Right.
offer, and all of that. Okay, so that's how I grew, right?
Hmm.
And then scaling. About 15 months into all of this, I was a marketing agency reached out to me, and they, you know, we talked maybe about 5 different times. They reached out, and then finally I said, okay, I'll try it. So we did that, and that's how we scaled. I went from doing $50,000 a month to the first month with the marketing agency, we did $1 million. And we consistently did $2 to $3 million every single month for like 24 months consecutively after that. The reason why we were able to scale to that magnitude. I mean, I've had one of the biggest scaled companies over the last 5 years online, that whole thing, especially in our demographic and our
Hmm.
lane, and especially with my
Right.
category of hair serum and all of that. We've really created some things that have never been done before, direct to consumer. But the
Hmm.
reason why we were able to scale was because of my hard work for
That's what
that
I was gonna
15
say. I
months.
don't want people to miss that. I don't want
Come
people
on
to
now.
miss that. They
Come
didn't
on
just go
now.
straight to a marketing
Come on
agency.
now. It
You
ain't
didn't
gonna
just
happen
come
like
out the
that,
gate
y'all.
and get
Nope.
hire somebody
No.
and
And I'm
put
gonna
the
tell
work
you guys
in.
why and what's very, very important. I did what? The research. I taught myself online for 10 years about
Hmm.
online, right? The last year right before, I really went in hard with just YouTube University learning, right? So
Hmm.
I understood how to do the fire actions, how to create a Facebook ad to where it was an engagement only ad to where you have to have 50 fired actions before you can now, let's say, scale that ad to find the right audience, this, that, and the third. That was 5 years ago, right? So a fired
Hmm.
action is an engagement, a comment, a something. To before
Right.
then they see who are these people, and then they can say, okay, these are your people. Now we're going to go find more people for you like this. That was back in the day. So I was able to understand all of those things. But the main thing was the pixel that was on my website, that
Hmm.
I was driving like 100,000 in organic traffic a month to my website, or more,
Hmm.
somewhere around there. So that for 15 months, that pixel was filled. When I came to the agency, they said they had never in the history of their agency, and they were the biggest agency online,
Hmm.
like a top 100 times forward, whatever.
Hmm.
They had never seen it, any data like that. I
Hmm.
became their number one client, still number one client to this day. I'm not with them anymore, but you know, they all over the line. If you look up Hollywood Hair Bar in the marketing agency, you'll see which marketing agency it was. And basically, towards the end of that 3 year run, or the first 3 years, at the end, they started to steal from me.
Oh wow.
So they sent my business through hell the last 2 years.
Wow.
And it was really, really bad what they did to me. They basically stole my traffic. They created a deceptive plan to
Wow.
create advertorial campaigns to where I was paying for ad spend that would click to a website that was filled with articles instead of click to my website where that blog post was. So I
That's
wasn't
crazy.
retargeting the first click, and they never told me that.
Mm.
Over $1 million spent on that, right? So millions of non-retargeted traffic. I mean,
Sorry to hear that.
devastation. I can't even explain. I am still right now trying to get out of this whole hole that they have created for me. So
That's,
that's another thing. It's like
mhm.
you have to, they target us
Mhm.
because they know we got the swag, we
Mhm.
got the juice,
Mhm.
but we don't really all the way understand
Right.
that world and all the behind the scenes of it because it's the matrix. And so
Mhm.
over the last 24 months, I have went through the hard knocks of life and the
Mhm.
hard knocks of really understanding, you know,
Mhm.
everything. Because I understood most of it. But then it
Mhm.
got to a point when you start scaling and you start making so much money, it does get out of hand. So now
Mhm.
I understood so many of the back end things of marketing online that I didn't specifically know, you know,
Mhm.
and I didn't have an in-house marketer that I should have hired
Right, but you
that
don't
was
know.
watching over them.
Right.
And that's what I didn't have. And that goes back to trusting too much. You know, they called
Mhm.
me their sister. I was, you know, their person. And they didn't live in the same state as me. So all of this remote working and, you know,
Yeah.
and I made the agency. You know, they were able to become the biggest agency around because our growth was astronomical. The stats, I mean, and then they milked the press from it and, you know, all of that while I was over here working. So I just wanted to give my full, and you know, now I'm going to start talking more and really giving my full story because yes, we
Mhm.
have hit $50 million in sales, which is
Mhm.
amazing.
Right.
But and the beginning of this was amazing. But this has become a thing for me. And I
Mhm.
don't even want to start getting emotional right now because I am a emotional girl. But I just want to show my vulnerability at this point, you know?
Right.
Because you have to be on point with this. It
Mhm.
becomes bigger than you.
Mhm. It's a lesson. A
It's a
lesson.
lesson.
And a lot of times, like you said earlier, we go through the school of hard knocks when building a business and we don't know what we don't know. But now this is a lesson and you can inspire
Yeah.
someone and let somebody know, like, hey, even though you may not know it all, you need to know what each function of your business is and what everybody is
Come
doing
on.
so
Yes.
that you can be aware. Because I was going to ask you, that was, thank you for being vulnerable.
Thank you.
You're still a leading figure in this space, and I know a lot
Thank
of
you.
women look up to you. What is your like? What do you want your impact to be, and
Yes.
like your legacy to be in the industry? I know your daughter is wants to follow in your steps, so just
Yes.
just balancing that, and what kind of impact do
Oh,
you want to have in the industry and on her?
yes. So first I'll talk about her. So the impact, and she's now telling me that we just had this talk yesterday. She wants to go into marketing. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
I'm like, that's amazing. So I'm about to put her on my team. I'm like, girl, come on. It's
Yes.
time, it's time. So I'm very excited about that. And that inspiration for her because really marketing is the key to everything in our
Hmm.
world. And basically, that was amazing for me to be able to show her that. So, my daughter was the inspiration of the whole
Hmm.
brand. When
Hmm.
she was a little baby, she had eczema in her scalp and she had a little patch in her scalp. And so, it was a passion from a young, she's 16.
Hmm.
To come with a product that babies could use in the whole 9 yards. So she was a total inspiration. She started the first bottles. We have, all of the pictures and everything. We use that in some of our stuff, but she was the one that squeezed the first bottles and
Hmm.
did the first ones. And she is my business partner, the only business partner that I have that
Hmm.
is a part of my corporation, and I did
Hmm.
that from day one. I told her this is going to be something for me and you. So for her to be able to be 10 years old and, see our lives change and just the
Hmm.
whole 9 yards has been a huge impact on her. But also, what I have to also show my child and what I talked to her about yesterday is I have to show her that I can juggle it all.
Hmm.
Because the juggling of being a mom, and I'm a single mom now,
Hmm.
over the last 2 years, I've become a single mom. It's a lot.
Hmm.
And I cannot let my business and the things that I'm going through the last few years because of what they did affect that because I'm right back in the same position. And this is a woman talk now, y'all ladies. I'm back in the
Hmm.
same position that I was in when I said I needed to leave styling because I'm not able to be with her, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So now it's me showing her how to juggle
Hmm.
health in a healthy way, this whole thing to where it's not taking over too much. And now what me and her are gonna do, the thing that I'm gonna bring her in on is my content. You're gonna
Hmm.
shoot mommy and
Right.
we're gonna make content, and that's something that I think will be a great thing for us, and we'll be able to have fun and enjoy. So that's what I really want to drop on her, and just the business acumen as a whole. She is
Hmm.
very, 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 much like me, and now it's time for me to put her through the same boot camp that I went through because she's gotten away for the last 3-4 years.
And
Because
you
I've
know
been,
what? Now you've learned some additional lessons that you could pass on to her
yes,
that, she may not have to go through a lot of the things that you went through. So,
exactly, exactly.
legacy building. That's what
Yes.
we're missing in our community. I love
Come
that.
on now. Yes. And it's very
Legacy.
important to me. Very important to me. So basically, my legacy that I want to leave into the industry, I feel like I have, and I'm not going to cry right now because I'm a crybaby, but I feel like I have inspired so many women. I am so full with what I've accomplished in the eyes of my women,
Hmm.
and not just with the products,
Hmm.
but with the inspiration that I have brought to the table because I've worked so hard for this.
Hmm.
And to be acknowledged
Hmm.
in this industry when I've been so quiet for
Hmm.
so long
Hmm.
and now just starting to talk makes me feel like mission accomplished. Check.
And let me just say this. I'll give you your flowers too, because
Thank
just in
you.
this little bit of time we've been talking, I feel inspired. Like, let me go back in. I just redid a business plan. And I'm like, let me go
Amazing.
rework some things. And
Yes.
it wasn't until, I met your publicist that,
Yes.
I started to look into Hollywood here. So
Yes.
imagine that all of the success
Yes.
that you've seen, and there are still people who are
Yes.
just getting to know you. So you have
Exactly.
so much coming on the horizon.
Yes.
Are there any new products or expansion plans
Yes, yes,
coming?
there are new things. I want to talk about that. I want to say one more thing though. Before I get into that, just one more little thing is that I wanted to inspire the next little black girl
Mm,
that, and this has been my whole point this whole time, that she could do it
mm-hmm,
without having to go get a bank loan,
mm,
without having to have perfect credit,
that's good.
without having, you can lace your bootstraps up,
Mm-hmm,
learn, and with your tenacity, oh, you can go get it too. And that was the reason why I've gone all this time without a partner, without an investor, because I wanted to have the story.
mm-hmm,
And now we're moving into those things. But I wanted to specifically inspire the next little black girl to say, you know what? Or the next little child, period.
mm-hmm,
Regardless of my skin color, where I come from, my credit score, my neighborhood, my parents, I can go on this internet and I can make a success for myself if I go for it hard enough. So I
mm-hmm.
wanted to really make that a point because that's the point of all points, and that's really the legacy also that I want to leave in the industry. But overall, we have a newer, stronger strength serum, which is amazing. So I have re-engineered, we have our serum is phenomenal, but there's a lot of other serums out there. And I'm like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I want to go in and make ours even more potent. So it's same price, same product, same ingredients, higher concentration, and that is our newest product that I really want to push. But we are going into Bath and Body more as well, like a lot of amazing body butters and things of that sort that I'm really excited about, and just really continually growing the hair care brand as well. But we have Hollywood Hair Bar, we have Hollywood Skin Bar, and we have Hollywood Bath Bar. So we
Awesome.
have those three, and the hair care division has been just such a phenomenal situation. I want to also add that we have been able to, come to a revenue of $50 million with just marketing one product.
Mm.
We've
Say
not
that again,
even
please. Say that
right.
again, please.
We have garnered revenue of $50 million over the last 5 to 6 years with just marketing one product. And
Mm.
then the other products they purchase through retention or going back to our website because they love that product. Now they want to try our growth edge control. We have a growth edge control that is a game changer that grows your edges, no flaking, no residue, and no alcohol like all other edge
Mhm.
controls on the market. We have a
Right.
phenomenal super grow grease that's also as powerful as the serum in a grease form. So, we just have different products that are very revolutionary. We have a Shebe mask that is
Mm.
like a mask that helps you retain your length, and I took those ingredients from Africa. So I really
Mhm.
was within developing every single product was very, very intentional with the ingredients and the results, the benefit of each ingredient. We even have a hair tea that you can drink that
Wow.
will work from the inside out,
Yep.
as well as you can put it topically on your hair as a tea rinse.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. So we just have
Yeah.
some really phenomenal products.
Mhm.
And we're just going to continue to grow that. But yes, our new and improved serum is where it's at.
Okay. All right. And so my last question is just looking back over everything that's happened from, being in the fashion industry to getting started to, the mishap with the marketing company and bouncing back from that. Out of all of that, what has been the most rewarding aspect of just building your business? And just any last minute advice for somebody that's struggling in their business, struggling in life, and really just trying to, you know, find the motivation to keep going.
Yes. Okay. I'll start with that one first and then I'll back up. So we all are trying to figure out our way. No matter where you are in this journey, we still are trying to strive for more. You cannot let the online marketing world take you out with your brain, your mind state, because it is the matrix. So the point is to try to crack the code. The point is to teach yourself with amazing coaches and gurus and not nothing you have to drop money on. Like I said, go on Facebook, find an amazing one because they're on there. I'm Facebook, on YouTube, they're on there. Just sharing information. And you will find the top ones, Google search them and find your way that way to really inform yourself and teach yourself. Because it's easy at this point with online marketing. But acquisition costs are very high right now. It's not the same as it was when we scaled. So you have to be very on point with everything. It's a cycle. The customer cycle is the most important cycle. I'm going to drop something right now that is a gem of all gems because I'm also coming out with a course and I'll keep you guys posted when that does release. I'm so busy with everything else, but I'm definitely going to do it maybe the end of this year or top of next year. But I have so many gems and things, it's out of control. But the one gem that I want to drop is today. Okay, hold on, because now I forgot. Hold on. Um, Jesus Lord, my brain be going so fast. Hold on. I was talking about, yes, the cycle of the customer. The most important metric that you need to look on is your new customer CPA. It's called the NC dash CPA. That means your new customer acquisition cost. How much is it to acquire your customer on Facebook or Instagram or Google or YouTube or Snapchat or TikTok? How much is that? Now, that metric is in your Shopify, or you can get a third party tracking attribution site like a Triple Whale or a North Beam possibly. But that right there is very important because your AOV, which is your average order value, should be higher than your new customer CPA. That's what I learned over the last 2 years. Now, if I would have been focusing on that, I would have been able to see that they were screwing me. But I didn't understand that those two metrics are the most important metrics out of all the goddamn metrics. Because guess what, y'all? We can have them sell us through a river of the CPA and the HOV and all of that, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, let's go back to basics. How much is it? How much am I paying to get this customer? How much am I making? And what's the profit of that?
Right.
That's the main thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have so much going on with ads and all that, it gets very too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know nothing. You don't know if you're making money. You don't know what's going on. You know a whole lot of money's going out, a whole lot of money coming in. You don't know what the heck is going on. So you also want to make sure that the customer cycle and retention is very, very important. Email, SMS is the most important thing that you can do, because let's say that customer, your average order value is $50. Let's say the new customer CPA to acquire that customer, how much Facebook charges you to get that sale after, and that metric is calculated in a certain way as well. It takes like all of the people that come to your site, all of the sales, and then it breaks it down that way. And that's how you get how much it is for each converted sale, right? Because you have to include the non-converted in there too. That's the trick. So if you have an average order value, if no one knows what that is like, when the average order value, the average order amount of each order that you get on your site.
Mm-hmm.
If your average order value, when you break down how many orders and how much you made, that's how you get your average order value. That's $50. And then your new customer CPA, how much they charge you to get that customer, is $40.
Yeah.
You think you're making $50. You're not making $50. You're making $10.
Right.
So let's be clear. And that's the part where they never teach this stuff, right? What you're doing with the other 40 is you are recycling that $40 in and out, but you're not making more. You're just making 10. So on top of that, the retention, to retain that customer, the return on your investment comes from the retention side of your business, which is email and SMS. So after that first sale, guess what? In 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever, you're going to email them again, SMS them again or whatever, and get another sale. That sale, when they spend $50 again, guess what that is? That's pure profit. Minus what? 30 cents, 5 cents for that one SMS or 1 cent for the email, right? That's your acquisition cost there. Even if it's not acquisition because it's technically your customer in your subscribers list. But that's your return on investment. So what they call the CAC, that's another major metric you need to look at. How much money did you spend on ads this month? And then how many of those customers came back the second month? How many of them came back the third month? How many of them came back the fourth month? When they come back the second month, the third month, and the fourth month, that's the return on your investment. But that first sale, that's just you acquiring that customer. That's you investing in acquiring that customer. So you make the money here. But if you have a brand or a product that you only can sell one time, guess what you're doing? You ain't making no money.
And people don't follow up.
Thank you. So you got to go to the products that people need to continue to purchase.
Right.
That's how you scale. And that's the secret of being able to have a profitable business through online paid media. Because that first acquisition, you're not really making, unless you are on TikTok and you're getting $5, $10 acquisitions and your average order value is $50 and you coming off the top $40, that's a good thing. Then you don't have to be so hard on, I have to get them to buy 2, 3, 4 times for me to get a return on my investment. So for me, what they were doing with me was, we were doing it great with retention. Don't get me wrong, because we made most of our money through SMS. It's our biggest channel, email. But then that gets a little quirky too, because when your new person that you acquire comes to your website, the first thing that comes up is what? The email catcher and the SMS. And then we do what? We give them an offer. You get 10% off, 15% off. Mostly people join that. Then they purchase. But guess what? when they purchase through the SMS or when they purchase through the email, it doesn't, the acquisition doesn't go on the Facebook platform. It goes on your email acquisition or your SMS acquisition. So then you really don't know where your sales are coming from. It
Mm-hmm.
gets very, very, very complicated.
Yeah, that's why it's important to learn the business, like you said, to get on YouTube and retain as much information as you can so that you can stay ahead of the game when it comes to your business. It's important um, to understand all the metrics, all the back ends of your business, to be able to be profitable and to continue to run your business. So I love that you gave us that tip. Okay, let's see what happens when she comes back.
I'm sorry. But what I was saying was that it gets very, very complicated and layered. So you have to have the right team and you have to teach yourself. And then you have to have an inside person also that's in-house in your business that's also
Mm-hmm.
watching the team, because it definitely gets very, very complicated. And for me, I feel like I went through all that so I could sit right here and I'm very knowledgeable about my business. At
Mm-hmm.
this point, I was always knowledgeable about business. But when you get into these things, it gets very much so like you have to learn. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying. You
you
have
have to
to learn.
really take responsibility for your business. I can't wait for you to drop your class. Guys,
Thank
make
you.
sure you're following Hollywood Hair. I'll add the
Yes.
links. And just I hope you guys were taking notes. I hope you guys feel inspired. Um, and I'm excited to see what's to come. I can't wait
Thank
to grab
you.
me some products,
Yay.
and
Thank
see how they
you.
work for our clients.
Yes,
Thank you
thank you so
so
much. And thank you
much.
for this interview. I think this was awesome. So wonderful to be able to share. And I'm going to be doing this a lot more. So everyone, please follow my page as well as Hollywood Hair Bar. She will link all of the links there so that you can continue to keep abreast, because I will be opening my mouth now. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you have a fabulous day. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.